Welcome to the Money Mindset. My name is Canary, and today with Jonan, the president of the Money Lenders Association of Uganda, we'll be talking about how to survive this economy. Sometimes the economy can be hard. Jonan, you're welcome.
Thank you, Canary. Thank you for having me.
What are the best ways for Ugandans to save money in today's economy?
The best ways to save money in this economy, I break it down 50, 30, 20. 50 is to cater for your needs. A need is something that you cannot do without because whether the economy is bad or good, you have to have shelter. So you actually have to be able to pay rent. Whether the economy is bad or good, you have to eat. So those are needs. And much of the time, 50% can actually cater for such. So you need to stretch to make sure that, at least if it doesn't, then it has to cater somehow. You force it to cater. So the 30 caters for wants because there are some wants that are important. More so, there are some wants that actually can double as sources of income. For example, if I have a mobile phone and I buy data, I can do a video on TikTok selling my products. The global world has actually shifted, even Uganda. People want their comfort. People buy most of the things online. So meaning that if I use my want, which is a mobile phone, smartphone, and I put data, shoot a TikTok video of my products, I can actually sell them. So yes, it is a need as a mobile phone, but it has helped me generate an income. Then the 20% could cater for savings and investment or saving for investment. Because I've always told people that, saving is not the most important. The thing is, even if you saved $1,000,000 or probably, 10 million a month, the key thing is what are you going to do with that money? You need to invest ultimately. Because if you do not invest it to have better returns, the inflation alone is going to eat it. Even the bank will chop it. So as you save, it's important to save for investment. So I break it down that way. 50, 30, 20, then people can actually know that, I'll never adequately address my wants. I'll never adequately address my needs. So all I know is that I have to do 50, 30, then 20 to cater for saving, for investment.
So when we talk about investment, what investment opportunities, in your own opinion, exist for ordinary Ugandans to grow their wealth and survive this economy?
I'll speak from the point of experience because, I get to interact with a number of clients, given that, we lend money. So I tend to be privy to most of the business that people run. It is important, first of all, to birth a business from the challenge that you face on a daily. I'll give you an example. It is important to know that, whether what or what, your hair will have to grow. So you have to have a budget for, cutting off your hair probably twice a month. So that inconvenience alone of knowing, the hair has to grow can actually birth your business. It is important to birth a business from what it is that you face as a challenge. If transport is a problem on your end, or probably you don't have a vehicle and you have to drop children, you need to start asking yourself, how many people actually go through the challenge that I'm going through right now? That's how people have birthed different businesses. So what is that challenge that you actually go through? We saw some lady from Nakao Market during COVID. She was actually, entirely in a different business. I think she was importing things, downtown and all that. But all of a sudden, she realized there was a demand for vegetables and fruits during COVID. And this lady shifts, does it online, and before you know it, this lady has different stores in different areas. She's a renowned. She has actually amassed a lot of money. So one thing I tell people is that if you want to birth a business, just look at yourself from morning. What are those inconveniences that you go through? It can be as simple as, I do not have time to actually go get my car on the washing bay and wait for 2 hours as they're washing it 1 hour. So there can be an opportunity of, knowing that, I can put a person who can actually be picking people's cars when they're at work and he goes, washes them and brings them work. That alone is a business. So to me, I think is that what challenges do you go through as a person? And that's how we actually started lending. I was in an institution and I knew that, government, when they're crossing from one financial year to the other, government takes long to pay. And, by 4 days, by 5 days, and this guy comes to me, he says, Jonan, I am stuck. I need 200,000 to, push me for 4 days, and then the government pays us. And I'm like, I can give you the 200,000, but you just put little profit. He's like, how much are you talking about? I told him, 40,000. I think he said, what? Please bring the money. What is 40K? And lo and behold, I give this guy money. After 4 days, the government pays. He gives me 240. But he didn't stop there. He went and evangelized in the guys who were working with in that institution. He says, if you have a problem, this boy will sort you out. I got an overwhelming demand for money, which money I did not have. So what did I do? I went to my friend who had microfinance. It was called Friends Capital Finance in Kamoch.
So you borrowed to lend.
Yes, I borrowed at 12%, came and lent at 20%. That was, sometime in 2011. And that's how Jonaki was birthed. So you can imagine. So there was a challenge at that very point, and I got to address it, and then the business is birthed. So the key thing is, what is that challenge that you can actually, that can produce for you a business? So entrepreneurs, as I conclude on this, is entrepreneurs view things differently. You may view it as a problem if you're not an entrepreneur, but if you're a person who is business minded, you can actually view it as an opportunity to start a business. Because I kid you not, people go through challenges every day, and this challenge will haunt him. He will even have the money to start that, to address that challenge, and even scales it to colleagues, but they will still not birth that business opportunity from that challenge. Okay. So that should be the perspective.
Interesting perspective there. How can Ugandans become more financially literate to make better money decisions? Do we all need to go for classes? What are those basic things we need to have on our fingertips?
I think I'll speak at it two angles. The first angle is for, I assume probably someone is, a bit read, a bit exposed, but even then, people have access to, smartphones and internet. Canary, there's huge information on literally everything on YouTube, on TikTok. You can even select. Now with AI, it can even study your trend. That, this guy has interest in finance and accounting. And it will bring you all the videos, the most watched videos in that discipline. So I think at this point, we don't have any excuse for not having the information or even knowledge. So let's make use of internet, YouTube, TikTok. Instead of watching those comedies, watching those, interest that are not adding anything on your life, I'd rather concentrate on that. The other thing that I can actually advise that interest yourself in associations. I told you we have Money Lenders Association of Uganda. But you wonder why someone who is actually lending, registered, lending formally, licensed, does not belong to the association. Because we run 2 Zoom meetings in a month. We discuss difficulties that we are facing, and solutions are birthed. So you wonder why someone would lend and not belong to an association. So if you're doing a particular business, most of the businesses have the associations. Uganda manufacturers, Uganda bankers, Uganda, there are a number of associations. So belong to an association, because that's where the most latest information about your industry is discussed.
Right. Lastly, what are some of the practical budgeting tips for Ugandans facing rising costs of living in this economy? Your budgeting tips.
I want to defy a bit, because you see, if I am budgeting for the money that is not as much, it will not increase the money itself. It will still keep meager. It will still be little money. So if I'm earning 500,000 and my expenditure is way up there, 1 million or 1.5, even if I pitch pennies and budget for the 500,000, I'll still struggle. So to me, what I usually tell people is that have a conscious spending plan. Conscious spending plan is that you take boxes of the key priorities, the key needs. And that's why I broke down the 50, 30, 20, 30, 20. Of 50 to cater for needs, 30 to cater for wants, and then 20 for investment. But the key thing here is that concentrate on how you can increase your income. If you're in formal employment, add value to yourself. Yes, the economy is hard, but do you realize that even in the hard economy, there are people who are earning a salary for as high as 50 million and 100 million per month? It is true. Even in the hardest economy, do you realize that there are some businesses that are turning over probably $1 million a month?
Yeah.
They are there. So what is the difference? So the perspective, the effort should be geared away from pinching pennies and counting every coin and what. You even look funny sometimes. It becomes a challenge. People will start thinking at the sky. Shift it to how you can actually increase your income, because then that's where the ultimate solution belongs. But even if you shift your income and you've not nibbed it on the breakdown of the conscious spending plan of knowing that, this goes where, this goes where, this goes where. You've seen people even earn for as high as 150 million a month, but they barely get through the month. Because as you scale up in your income levels, then the demands also scale
Scale
up.
up.
So twofold is: one, think of how you can increase your income without pinching pennies. But also two is that have a conscious spending plan. Not to the dot of a budget, no toothpaste, what. Just know that 50% of my income is catering for this, 30 is catering for probably my few wants, and then 20 for saving for investment. That even when I get 100 million, it will come seamlessly. I'll distribute it accordingly to know
Because
that
the formula already exists.
Thank you.
Mm.
You see, I usually use this analogy. You don't go to the gym from 6 a.m. in the morning to 6 p.m. in the morning to develop the six pack. It is just going to the gym probably 1 hour a day over a series of probably 3 years, that probably 2 packs or 3 packs will start showing up. Then along the way, probably in 5 years, then the 6 packs show up. So same applies to savings. As you save that 100,000, as you save that 50,000, you're growing the muscle. You're growing the muscle. That even when you get an overwhelming income of 200 million, it will not antagonize you. You've seen people who walk on the street. You can easily tell that they just got some deal, they closed it.
Yeah.
The guy will be moving on his toes. Why? Because he realized an overwhelming amount of money that he has never experienced, he has no plan for, and he cannot even manage it. So Canary, the money can even kill you if you get an overwhelming amount of money that you didn't even anticipate and you don't know how to make it flow. It can actually kill you. It can actually kill you. Yeah, so it's important to know that, what, I need to manage this money, but also to know that even if I'm earning 500,000 or 300,000, that 20,000, that 10,000 saved consistently will make a lot of sense than even someone who's actually earning 15 or 10 million a month.
Okay, thank you very much, Jonan, for sharing insights with us. That has been the money mindset. Next time you hear from us, we'll be talking about the future of lending and what needs to change.